There is a quiet emergency unraveling in front of us. Only it's not on the news ticker, and your elected officials certainly aren't shouting it from the Capitol steps. It's the kind of emergency that doesn't come with sirens, but with silence. It hides in your child's underfunded school, in the potholes on your morning commute, in your neighbor's GoFundMe for insulin. It is the emergency of misplaced priorities. Since 1948, the United States has sent roughly $158 billion in aid to Israel, mostly military, mostly unquestioned. That's money that could have paid for over 2 million American teachers, or health insurance for 17 million of our own people. But instead, we subsidize a foreign military apparatus that bombs refugee camps with American weapons, all while our own veterans sleep under bridges. Why? Because somewhere along the line, our government decided that Israel's wars were our responsibility. Their security, our debt, their occupation, our silence. And you're paying the price. Subscribe if you're tired of footing the bill for bombs instead of books. Imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through the monthly bills. Rent is up, groceries cost more than ever, and that toothache you've ignored for months? Still throbbing, because your insurance plan covers basically nothing unless you're dying on a Tuesday. Now, take that ache and imagine how many American families feel it. Millions of them. Now imagine trying to explain to your kid that their public school doesn't have enough funding for art class because your tax dollars were rerouted to fund missile defense for a country half a world away. Sound absurd? That's U.S. foreign policy, baby. Welcome to the land of liberty, unless you're Palestinian, uninsured, or a teacher with broken chalk and no budget. But don't worry, we're told. This alliance is about shared values. You know, democracy, human rights, all that jazz. Meanwhile, the U.S. continues to arm a government accused by Human Rights Watch of committing war crimes in Gaza. We've been sold a story so backwards, you'd think George Orwell ghost-wrote the foreign aid budget. And yet, criticize this arrangement, and suddenly you're labeled un-American, anti-Semitic, or just not understanding the complexities. Complexity, huh? How about this? While Israel tests its drone strikes on Gazan civilians, my cousin can't get mental health treatment through Medicaid. Is that complex enough for you? And let's talk about the costs. Not just in dollars, but in American lives. In 1983, 241 U.S. servicemen were killed in Lebanon while propping up a fragile ceasefire after an Israeli invasion. In Iraq, over 4,000 Americans died, and Israel's security was part of the rationale. Trillions of dollars down the drain, thousands of flag-draped coffins, and for what? So that Israel could ignore our pleas for peace and build more settlements? So our tax money could buy the same bombs used to flatten apartment blocks in Rafah? You've heard the myths that it's a strategic alliance, that we share values, that it's good for American jobs. But let's break this down like it's Monday morning and you haven't had your coffee yet. If your job relies on sending bombs to an apartheid state, maybe that's not an economy worth defending. If the best we can do is justify war spending because Lockheed Martin's stock needs a boost, we have officially mistaken capitalism for morality. Oh, and let's not forget that Israel spies on us. Yes, really. Jonathan Pollard ring a bell? While we ship billions over, they turn around and sell our tech to countries we consider strategic threats. And our reward for all this? A trade deficit, global resentment, and fewer allies every time Israel flattens another hospital. Here's the truth no politician will say on cable. This isn't about safety, values, or strategy. This is about lobbyists writing foreign policy with their checkbooks. About politicians more afraid of upsetting AIPAC than of telling a homeless veteran why they can't get a bed. This is about a system where criticizing Israel is political suicide, but funding war crimes with your paycheck is just how it works. You're not crazy for thinking it's wrong. You're just paying attention. So if you're fed up with sending your hard-earned money to fund military occupations while your own community drowns in debt, disease, and despair, stick around, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Let's drag the truth into the daylight and remind our government that charity begins at home. Like, share, and subscribe to help this channel grow.